to the live Ask Me Anything session with myself, Patricia Lohan, your Feng Shui guide. So hilarious. I ended up being like a couple of hours early for this session today, coming on very earlier and doing a beautiful angel card reading, and then unfortunately I'm late for this one. I really am having a little bit of a joke with our Mercury retrograde today. Lots of meetings I've attended that I did at the wrong time and stuff, but it is what it is. First of all, thank you everybody who has been part of my beautiful Mercury retrograde, Feng Shui your Mercury retrograde season and of meditations. If you haven't already tapped into and listened to them, they are going to be available on the podcast. They're also available in the group, and if you want to join me live, they go live at 7 a.m. We have the next ones coming up next week, which will be on Tuesday and Wednesday. Let me get my days right for you all. And we have a different theme every single week, different theme each day. The idea of this is really moving through the process of each area of our life. One of my favorite things about Feng Shui is the fact that it is all about a holistic approach to your life and looking at your home from this holistic approach and your life from this space, that each and every part of your home represents a different part of your life and your business. So if there's something blocking it from one side, it will be blocking, if in one part of your home, it'll be blocking it in your life. It's one of these kind of more misunderstood things about Feng Shui. So I really am excited to answer some questions again today. In the meantime, if you have anyone that you think would really benefit or enjoy these sessions, feel free to share this with them, invite them over to the group, the pop-up group. We're having a great time over there, or make sure that you share the insights from the podcast. Now, anybody who's here live, feel free to, or watching on the replay, please give me a hello. Tell me where you are in the world. I'm so excited to be able to do this every week and to connect with everybody. And also, if you have your own questions, you are able to submit them and send them in to me. And I will answer your questions on these sessions as well. So we have already done sessions on the office, we've done sessions on decluttering, we've done sessions on love. Last week we specifically talked about Feng Shui and love. So if you are looking for attracting or calling in love, that's something to definitely look at. Now, the power of this process, and really the underestimated part, is one of the questions that I had this week was really interesting from someone, and she got a little bit overwhelmed by the fact that there is so much to do to redecorate in her house, that the idea of feng shuiing it feels like this huge overwhelming task. And I just thought, oh my God, I really want to address that. So one thing is, if you've heard from me, you've heard in my podcasts, you've heard here in my lives, the different tips that you could do about feng shui. So there's lots of different things that you can do to get started. And I like to describe feng shui almost like an iceberg. And at the very top of the iceberg is the visible things. And usually when it comes to the insights that I can share with you and the tips that I can share with you, they are pretty much on the tip of that iceberg. And there's a deeper level going on of what's energetically happening in the home. But on the surface is what we can work out right now. Now, when it comes to feng shui in your home, actually, we're working on the energetic. So it's not about having to invest in, like one of the examples was like, she was like, oh my God, I have to get a brand new door and it's going to cost $3,000 for a new door. And I'm like, you don't have to get a new front door. Unless you want a new front door, and if you can't get it fixed, but that's not going to be the main game changer in your life around your feng shui. It's definitely an impact, and that's the one thing that I want to really reiterate today, is that every single house is very unique, and the energies that are going on, like even if it's an interior designed house or if it's a kind of a messy house, the feng shui will manifest differently for everybody as well. So I've had questions about getting the right color for the front door. Now, when we talk about front doors, for sure, the right color for a front door really depends on the house. So when people ask me like, what's the best color for my front door, is I actually need to know a lot more information about your house, because every single house has its own personality type, and it also has its own element type. So Feng Shui covers all the 5 elements. It covers, we really work like acupuncture for your home, and we work on the 5 elements. So your house will have its own personal element type as well, and that element type will actually dictate what is the right color for it. So for example, if your house was like a water element, if your house was a water element, the wrong color for a front door would be a earth colored door, like a brown door, because that would dampen and stop not really support it. But for example, if your house was wood element, or it was the earth element, earth creates fire, like it creates ashes, it creates earth. So then that would be the right color. So a red door will be a good for an earth element. So when we work with clients, they submit all their information, and then I do the analysis to tell them what is the right color for their front door. It actually is on the first thing on their personal report. Sometimes you can't change your front door. Sometimes it's a PVC colored door. So if I don't have that information, I'm not able to actually give a full distinct answer on it. Just knowing that there are colors that are going to be optimum for your front door, and there are colors that are not going to be optimum, that could deplete it. But like, even irrelevant of that, like I have people who join my program, their color isn't the right color at the moment. I'm like, it's not the end of the world. There is like so many more layers of Feng Shui to contend with. Trying to make sure your door works and opens is also important. Now, for the fact of those who are like, okay, I'm just ordering a new door and I'm not part of your program yet, Patricia, I would say go with a color that feels good for you. Like, you want to feel happy coming to your house, you want to feel excited, you want to feel good. So that's something I would definitely recommend from that perspective, like going with something that feels good, because I don't have more information to be able to answer like that from a very specific point of view. And that's one of the things about this process, is that it's not a generic practice, but all I can do when it comes to this is talk about what are the things we can do from the generic perspective to improve your environment. Okay, so the next question that we have is, my toilet is in my wealth area. What is the Feng Shui cure? So again, this is a really interesting question, because obviously there's different schools of thought about where the wealth area is. And the school that we talk is about flying stars. So that is the southeast part of your home. Now, the toilet being there is not the end of the world. You are not doomed forever if your bathroom is in your prosperity area. There are so many different aspects of prosperity related that we can work on in terms of your own personal trigram, in terms of the elements of it. If the whole bathroom doesn't take it all up, we can still balance and neutralize the elements in that area. And also, your personality type of your house can impact that. So in a couple of weeks, I'll be doing some trainings about the different personality types of houses and a quiz for you to be able to find that. And you'll be able to then discover and be like, oh, okay, so that there's that level, and then there's the wealth area, and then there's other aspects of prosperity. So if it happens to be your wealth area, don't panic. Just go and pimp it up, like make it feel luxurious, make it feel abundant. As I said, in our process, when I work with people, is they submit their information and I create personalized reports. So that personal report, it tells you what the cure is for that area. It may be water, so then you already have the bathroom, which is actually good that it's there. So sometimes what we think is bad feng shui actually isn't. And sometimes we naturally, intuitively are called to the right things, to do the right things and be in the right space. So don't panic about it, and don't think that that's the one thing that's determining your feng shui. There are so many different aspects that you can improve and work on that will make it a lot easier. So I hope that makes you feel a lot better. And you could get some nice fresh flowers, buy some nice beautiful towels, make your bathroom feel really prosperous and abundant. So that will feel good too. So there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is a beautiful, beautiful one. We are repainting the inside of our home. And we were deciding, and she's obviously heard this from me before, that when we're repainting the inside of our home, one of the things that we can work on doing, and it's not actually necessarily a feng shui thing, but she was asking about the right essential oils to put into the actual paint. So the really vibrational essences are so powerful, and I've done this before, is like recommended bringing essential oils into, like if you are repainting a room or space, that you can find an optimum essential oil that you could add in that vibration and energy, but be really positive for the space. So the example would be, I'm just thinking, like, for example, in a place, like, for example, a bedroom. If a bedroom, you're repainting a bedroom, what essential oil would you put there? You would put one that's like lavender or calming, something like, even you can get those blends that are very calming and neutral. So that intention is going into the paint, and then it's infusing onto the walls for you. The second one, she's asked about the dining room. So the dining room, it is a place for interaction, for connection, for communication. Like, so I love the idea of, like, orange, like a wild orange. Wild orange is such a zesty, beautiful, abundant kind of fruit as well, and it's very positive feng shui. So it is in terms of the area. And then the other one that I would recommend is that I'm just thinking of, like, for example, the office. If you're thinking about the office, a good one would be something like rosemary. Rosemary is very good for mental clarity and for that sense of, like, it's a very smart, clear, and citrus could be good as well for there. Like a lemon color could be really good as well for there. So these are just some examples of things that you could use in adding paint into, or essential oils into that area. I just got kicked off, am I still here? I think I'm still here. I think my internet has gone a little bit weird. Could someone just let me know if you're watching? Has it gone a little bit strange? If it has, let me know. I feel like I'm talking very slow or something. And I also need some power as well. I'm trying to connect to another Wi-Fi system, but it's not giving it to me. Just going to go with that. Nope. Can't do it. Oh, let me get it. Annoying. Okay, so let me see. Another question. Let me see. How about it? That's the same one with a toilet in her. Any recommendations for a girl, the toilet and money area? This is a question not feng shui related, but where does Parashakti come from, and what does it mean? So you'll see me coming up on my name as Parashakti, Patricia Parashakti. Oh, great. Thanks, Lucy. Patricia Parashakti. So Parashakti is my spiritual name. It was given to me in the ashram. I feel like it is so connected. It just feels very unique that the fact that we've rebranded, renamed our program Powerhouse, and Parashakti basically means powerhouse. Para, it means all, and Shakti means power, divine feminine power. And obviously sometimes when you refer to a powerhouse, you just go, oh, she's a powerhouse, like, really ahead of herself. So that can be something that we can look at as well, is that name that's where it comes from. And it was given to me in the ashram. Funnily enough, my mom thought I was, someone messaged my mom when I changed it when I was in India, and said, has Patricia got married to an Indian? No, I haven't got married to an Indian at all. And I hadn't got married to an Indian, but that my name that's my spiritual name. So it's interesting how that name has now kind of come through as the name for my program. I'm sorry about the internet. How we are in Mercury retrograde. So that's okay. Where is the best place and crystal to place in the home to help with manifesting money? Okay, so crystals are not actually like a feng shui remedy. They're not like the cure for feng shui. One of the elements, we do work with 5 elements, and the 5 element theory. So that's working with fire, water, metal, earth, and red earth and moving metal. And they are the elements that we work with. But the actual idea of like putting crystals in a place to like fix your prosperity isn't like a feng shui cure. Okay, that's number one. I just want to make sure I was clear in that. Now, if you are a crystal therapist and you're into crystals, there are crystals that are associated to there are crystals that are associated with prosperity. So obviously citrine or pyrite. And there's nothing wrong with having them in your house from a feng shui perspective. We also talk about like rose quartz being the one that's associated with unconditional love. Amethyst is connected with spirituality. So like from a feng shui perspective, my work is really working with the 5 elements, but we do, when we work with people, give them some suggestions of crystals that you could put in that would amplify that area, but it's never going to be the cure. So, just being really mindful that, buying a crystal and putting it in a certain area isn't necessarily going to be the money cure, or, those little crystal tree plants isn't necessarily a feng shui cure. So it's not. So that's it. The next one is, how do I connect with the universe? Okay, so how do I connect with the universe? Join my weekly call, my Feng Shui Your Mercury retrograde sessions. Thank you for your questions, but join my weekly sessions for the meditation. So next week on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to be doing them. If you haven't already seen them, you can get them on my podcast. You can go to patricialowen.com and find the replays there, or in my pop-up group. You can go to the pop-up group and find them there in the video section. They'll all be there for you. And that's really, connecting to the universe is that sense of connection, like connection between heaven and earth, and really coming into balance. And the more we slow down, and this is, what is that to do with feng shui? And this is such a perfect question, because feng shui is originated from the energy of the I Ching and from the Tao. And Taoism is really all about nature and the harmony of nature. So when we work with feng shui in our homes and you spend time outside, imagine spend time down by the beach and you feel so good and alive and vibrant. That is just the perfect energy. It's just like you just feel so good, and so it's all so balanced, and the tides come in perfectly and the trees go with the perfect timing. And that is really essentially the vibration energy that we want to bring into your home, that once we work with the elements, it brings that into harmony, and then everything starts to flow easily and go into and drop into the proper rhythm of nature. And that's essentially what feng shui is all about getting our homes essentially connected to the universe and aligned with the universe, so it's connected to our highest good and perfect unfolding of our life purpose. So that's connected to the universe. So this lady said, my health has taken a dive for the last few years and my weight has skyrocketed. What can I do? So when it comes to like our health, like feng shui, when you translate it into English, it means good health and good wealth. Now, good health and good wealth is exactly what everybody really wants, okay? And that's ultimately what the feng shui does. And when we start implementing the personal rapport and the proper remedies in to balance it, it's going to make a big difference. Now, one of the things is that what could happen is the house just went out of balance in terms of health, and it's not as supportive energetically. There are some houses that are not as supportive energetically for people and for health. But what I would say in terms of weight gain is definitely there's a few things that you can do. You can, if you have magnets on your fridge, clear them all out. Like declutter your kitchen. Declutter would be a really big thing. I would recommend like letting go and decluttering can be a really, really positive thing. And again, just giving yourself an opportunity to really connect with and just see, has it happened since you moved into this house? Has that happened? Has that been the case since you moved into this house? Now, there is no specific element that is going to keep clutter at bay. Like there's no cure. And actually what I've seen is so interesting is like we can do all this big decluttering, but sometimes clutter comes back to certain areas in our home. And that'll come back because the energy, like the hidden energy, the work that we really do in feng shui, the acupuncture points, they're the things that balance it and allow it to be released. So if there's low vibrational energy in your home, it can relate to clutter kind of staying stuck or coming back all the time. And, it's just so fascinating, especially then as you dive in and learn about the different areas of your home, where the specific areas are. their home starts to talk back to you. So where clutter is maybe gathering, that can actually be impacting your, can be really a point that the energy isn't happy there, and it needs to be looked at and analysed, giving the proper remedies and cures for it. So thank you for being here today. That's me for my time today, for doing our Q&A. Don't forget, next week I'm back doing our Feng Shui Your Mercury Retrograde. If you have any friends that you think would enjoy it, feel free to invite them into the pop-up group, to tag them in this video if there's something that resonates with you. And in the weekly message, there'll be a post where you can submit your questions for this live Q&A. As you know, they're all kind of random questions that I get. But if you are listening on the podcast, thanks for being here. Come join us in the group, and we will see you very soon. Have an amazing day and happy feng shuiing from me. Bye.